Tradeblock is now not only a trading platform, it is a buy, sell, and trade platform. Let's talk about it. If you guys are familiar with the channel, you know that I have tutorials on how to sell on just about any platform that there is to sell shoes on. Of course, Tradeblock just entered that space now. I do have other tutorials on Tradeblock on this channel, but now it's time to talk about how to buy and sell on the app. It's new and I'm curious to see how competitive they're gonna be. It looks like right now they're trying their best to establish some sellers, get shoes loaded on the platform that are available to sell. And that way users aren't only trading, but they are also buying, selling, and using Tradeblock to do all of that. First things first, just like all these other platforms, you have to sign up, you have to create an account, and you have to enter all of your accurate personal information. Even if you've already created an account on the Tradeblock app, you're still going to have to verify some personal information. Whenever I got on the app and I started searching for shoes that I wanted to list, it still asked me for my full name, my date of birth, the last four of my social, and I needed to verify that information right there on the app. Now, of course, if you're completely new to Tradeblock, you're gonna have to input all of your financial information also, whether that be bank account, card number. Tradeblock does work a little differently in the sense that they like to have your transaction completed right then and there. So it's going to show you the full amount that you'll be charged or that you'll be credited and the card that you're going to use to complete that transaction as soon as you do it. Now, if you have a pair of shoes that you're wanting to sell, you can do it in one of two places. You can either go to your closet where you've already input the shoes that you own, or you can go to the buy sell tab on the home page and search for a specific shoe that you're wanting to sell. Now, once you find that shoe, you can click on it and you're gonna have to select all of the information regarding those, the size, the condition. You're gonna have to input photos if it requires them. I believe only the dead stock shoes don't require photos. So if you are listing used shoes, you're gonna have to take photos of those. The suggested market value is gonna pop up at the top. Once you've set a price point that you're comfortable with and you've uploaded all of the details for this listing, you can continue through and place the ask. You'll see details itemizing your fees. It's gonna look something like this. Now, here's what I really wanna point out. Tradeblock is advertising a flat fee of $19.95 and free shipping. No hidden fees, none of the 9 point something percent transaction fee, plus the 3% processing fee, plus the shipping, plus the tax, all that stuff that these other platforms do. Now, just because they're not advertising it doesn't mean that they're not there. If you click through and you're trying to sell a pair of sneakers on Tradeblock, you're still gonna see some other fees. For example, you see that $19.95 flat fee. You're also going to see tax, which I don't know why there's tax whenever you're selling a shoe. It's a super small amount, but it's still there. There's also a small security fee. I think that may have something to do with Stripe, the credit card processing company that Tradeblock is partnered with. So I don't know if they're passing along that fee or if Tradeblock is passing along that fee to the seller. Something else that's interesting is that Tradeblock is actually double dipping on this fee. So the seller's paying $19.95 to sell those shoes, but the buyer's also paying $19.95 to buy those shoes. Now, in some instances, I would almost rather have a percentage of the sale go to the platform that I'm listing on, especially whenever it comes down to the price point of the sneakers. Now, if you have a super expensive pair of shoes, yeah, a flat fee makes sense. I'd rather sell $1,000 pair of sneakers and only get charged $20 to do so. But whenever I'm flipping like Yeezy slides for $120 and I'm getting hit with $20 on both sides, I mean, essentially Tradeblock's making $40 any pair of shoes that sells on their platform, and they've got essentially no cost of entry on the inventory. Now, I'm not saying this is like super outlandish or that they're being greedy or anything, but I just don't see how it's going to work like this long term. Now, if you're buying a pair of shoes, we can use this example, a $400 pair of shoes. You've got that $19.95 fee. You've got a processing fee now. You've got tax, which is higher, of course, because you're the one that's buying. You've got the security fee also. And whenever it's all said and done, that $400 pair of shoes is going to cost you over $460. Now, in this example, it's a little bit cheaper because there's discounts for being like a first-time buyer and whatnot. There were credits applied. How do you get around the fees? Right now, like I said, they're trying to establish as many sellers as possible and as many pairs of shoes on the platform as possible. If you list 10 dead stock sneakers, they will grant you with $0 fees for an entire month. Now, I don't know how long that's gonna last, but it's actually pretty enticing for me personally. If I had some lower valued sneakers that were dead stock that I was trying to sell, I would use those as my first 10 that I upload, because that $20 is gonna hit harder on your lower valued pairs of shoes. Now, if you have like some Chunky Dunks or some Travis Scotts or something like that that are, you know, $1,000 plus, you might wait to list those later and go ahead and take the 1995 hit. It's not a huge deal in that case. Whereas if you sold that on like eBay or Go or StockX, you might be taking like a 10% hit after fees, and that would cost you over $100. Now, it does still say on the Tradeblock site that there's a 3.1% processing fee whenever you take your funds out of the app. I feel like eBay is like the only one that once you get paid for something, you don't get hit with another fee, another fee, another fee. If you sell on Goat or StockX, you realize that whenever you take your money out, you still get hit with like a 2.9% fee, which kind of sucks. It feels like it's like just because money at that point. So again, we have that here with Tradeblock. As far as the shipping goes, I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing as the other platforms. They've studied and learned from them. You're probably going to get an email with the shipping label. It'll probably be accessible there on your account as well. It's going to give you a certain amount of days to ship your item out. You're going to have to use a specific carrier that they give you your label for, so make sure you're taking it to the right carrier, and make sure you take it to a legitimate store. If they're using UPS or FedEx or what have you, you need to take it to an actual UPS store, an actual FedEx store, not a third-party one. They will not stand by and help you if something goes wrong during the shipping process. So yes, you do get a free label out of it. If you're the buyer, you don't have to pay directly for shipping, but I think you pay enough in fees to cover that. To be honest with you, even the $20 just to have a pair of shoes shipped anywhere in the United States is pretty high. I might dabble with selling on Tradeblock, especially if I can qualify for the $0 fees for the first month. I might go through the inventory and list some shoes. I'll be able to share that experience with you guys in the comments on this video. Feel free to drop your comments also. Share your experience with buying, selling, trading on Tradeblock. If you have any questions also, you can drop those below in the comments, or you can hit me up on IG. The handle is the same at AllABSneakers. I'm an open book. Hit me up. I appreciate you guys for watching. Best of luck selling on Tradeblock, and do not forget, this is all about sneakers.